Okay, are you ready to see how this plays out? Let's go and preview our post and see how the video is treated inside our post. So what I'll do over inside the right-hand portion of my screen is I'll click on Update, of course, to save my changes inside my post. And then let's go and view our site, of course, command-clicking or control-clicking on that link there. Okay, so give me just a moment here. I'm just going to scroll down. There's the post, welcome to my new blog. There's cartoon slideshow, again, that text there. Now, if you want, maybe what I can do here for clarity's sake is I'll click on that actual post title to open up that post all by itself here. So what winds up happening is, and this is what I was really alluding to just a few minutes ago, is the video doesn't become a part of the post in the same way that a graphic does. What we wind up getting is a link to the video. So if I click on the cartoon slideshow link, I now get that video, that .mov file opening up by itself inside its own page, if that makes sense. So in other words, it's a direct link to that video file. So rather than the video actually being embedded into the post, it's linked to. That's just the way it works here inside WordPress, by default anyway. Now, let me bounce a couple of ideas off of you here, because when I show this, a lot of times people are quite disappointed. This is not what they wanted. What they wanted was the video to actually be a part of the post, right? And you see that all the time throughout different blogs online, right? So how do you do that? How do you embed video into a post? Well, you have three options. First of all, what you can do is you can use a video service like YouTube or Viddler, right? And what you could do is, I'm sure you've seen this on YouTube or on other video sites, is they'll have some embed code beside the video. Well, we could take that code and copy it and then paste it into WordPress's HTML editor, right? So in other words, what I would do here is I'd flip back to my editor, and let me just expand this out a little bit here. And what I'll do is I'll flip over to the HTML editor, and rather than having a hyperlink, the ahref and so on, instead I would paste in that embed code. Of course, to get that to work, I'd have to take my cartoon slideshow, our example here anyway, and upload it to one of these video services. And then that would mean that the file is now available on YouTube or on Viddler or whatever video service I'm using, right? But anyway, that's one option. The second option is to use a WordPress plugin, and there's a few of them that will allow you to embed video. Two WordPress plugins are FLV Embed, which will let you embed FLV formatted videos. Or there's another one here, Viper's Video Quick Tags. That's another plugin that you can use. And we haven't talked too much about plugins in WordPress yet, but we'll be getting to them in just a little while. That's another option. The third option, do you remember we talked about this way back at the beginning of this chapter anyway? We talked about using auto embeds, and you can certainly make use of your auto embeds, again, if you're using a video service like Viddler or YouTube or Google Video or something like this. And if you want, you can go back to the beginning of this chapter and review that if you're not sure what I'm talking about. But those are your three options: using a video service, using a plugin, or using your auto embeds.